What's up, everyone? Welcome to your body transformation roadmap. Today, you're going to learn how to shed 20 pounds, gain more confidence in your body, in the gym, emotionally, your self-efficacy, and all these great things that come with the fitness journey. So if you don't know who I am already, my name is Anthony. I'm the owner of the Land Lab Fitness Mastery. And today what we're going to do is break down my client Heather's transformation. And when we go through this case study today, you will pick up all the principles, all the training and diet knowledge you need to create such a successful transformation. And I'm really excited that you're here because I'll be giving away all the secrets and everything you need to know to get started properly. So without further ado, let's get started. So one thing you got to know is who I am and how I came to be and what my background is, so you know this knowledge isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's not just anecdotal. A lot of my practice is very evidence-based and what the literature says, combined with the experience of coaching. So as a kid from Mississauga, I was probably one of the few Asian kids in school, and naturally, tend to be a bit smaller than your peers, a bit skinnier, a big gamer. But then I really got into playing sports and learning how to work out, and those type of activities really changed my confidence, and it really made me a better person, and I liked who it was making me become. So I kept pursuing this journey even further, and I went and got a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology at the University of Waterloo. However, this is where the plot kind of twists a bit, because when you're studying like crazy and you're getting distracted with all university related things, well, you're going to gain some weight. So I went from about 150 pounds, super skinny, to about 192 pounds. And at this point in my life, I was very depressed. I was not working out. I was just drinking a lot. I was partying a lot. And I was really broke at the time. So my mindset was very poor. And I just wasn't happy with who I was. So, of course, I went back to my old roots because I knew the gym would make me feel better. If not physically, at least mentally it would make me feel better. But as I started getting into it more and more, fast forward a few years later of just trial and error and making tons of mistakes, I was actually able to shed about 40 pounds of body fat and achieve a 5% body fat, which is really lean. And I was so lean at this point, I actually competed in a show, bodybuilding show, and you could pull the skin off my body and it would have that elasticiness. It was pretty crazy, but not saying that everyone wants to go this low. What I'm trying to show you is that, hey, as a person who's been in different types of fitness journeys, gaining weight was a struggle, losing weight was a different kind of struggle, and then working out through all those times, focusing on building muscle, focusing on getting stronger and performing better and feeling better about myself. This was kind of like, I would say, one of like my peak transformations, if you will. And this journey inspired me to help others because I know what fitness had done for me mentally and physically. So being part of that journey for other people is just the most empowering thing. It's the joy of my job. And I really love what I do because I can help others go through this journey without all the hiccups, and also finding their individual needs, because everyone's body is going to be different in terms of movement, in terms of diet, and all these things. But what you'll find is in this presentation today, you'll learn kind of like what it's like to be in a coach's head and how to individualize for yourself. So essentially, all in all, my passion now is helping clients build a better body so that they can live better lives. Whatever their life they want to shape or create, I want them to feel ready and prepared to do so. So I want to enhance your life in that way. Now, in the last 8 years, I have helped over 150 clients lose over 1,500 pounds of fat and build a better body that enhances their lifestyle. So you can see a bunch of transformations here. A lot of group fitness, a lot of online training, and I've been really lucky that over 150 people have given me their trust to help them through a tough and grueling process, but very, very rewarding on all different levels. So now this is my client Heather. So let's give you a little bit of a backstory. So Heather came to me because she wanted to improve her fitness. She had just got out of a relationship, so part of this was a bit of a revenge body. And I find a little bit of, when you're not happy with where your life is right now, that is the perfect beginning point for a fitness journey. If you're already too happy, which is okay, but it depends on your attitude. But every time there's a little bit of sadness and darkness inside, you got to channel it and really make lemon into lemonade. So her goal was, she really wanted to tone up her arms, her shoulders, her ab definition in 3 months time. She wanted to be the leveled up version of Heather. And while I want to say 3 months was enough time, unfortunately I had to keep expectations realistic, because if I just say you can do it in 3 months, well then it's almost like, okay, I'm going to do this for 3 months and then I'm going to give up on the way. No, fitness is something you got to be able to do sustainably and consistently forever if you want to keep the results. So I need to teach you all the principles of fitness and training so that you can continue it on your own. So I gave her a bit more realistic timeline of learning all these things and achieving a great result in more like 6 months. So the first 3 months, we focused on fat loss, just like improving obviously her strength and conditioning, but also manipulating her diet in a way that would burn more fat and hold muscle. In the next 3 months, so 3 to 6 months basically, we focus on building lean muscle mass. Muscle mass is one of the most metabolically demanding organs in the system. And when you have more muscle, you can actually eat a lot more food and it will just start burning fat off your body. So strength training is the best way to build muscle, and then also eating enough calories will help you do that. So in 6 months, we were able to go from 144.5 pounds to 127 pounds. As you can tell, she had more toned arms, she had a more leaner midsection, and she's just as happy, if not happier actually, after 6 months of being out of that relationship and just figuring who she is and what she wants to do with her life now. Now, little bonus points is Heather actually stayed 6 months longer in my program. And this time it was all about muscle building, all about boosting metabolism, being able to eat a bit more and train and use calories in an effective way. And in 1 year's time, she was 122 pounds. So after 6 months of building more muscle and eating more food, she was actually able to lose 5 more pounds of body fat and have an even leaner, stronger physique than ever before. So how Heather went from 144.5 pounds to 122 pounds in 1 year is exactly what we're going to talk to you about today. And I'm going to share everything, including her training plan and diet plan, and break it down into nice, easy steps. The 3 steps. We got to get your training down first. So we'll talk more in step 1. After you understand step 1, we're going to talk about step 2, which is nutrition. How to eat properly to create the right environment based on your goal. The last thing is step 3, recovery. So most people already got step 3 down. You want to sleep 8 hours on average. So if you're sleeping, let's say 6 hours, then maybe you want to sleep 10 hours the next day to balance it out. Same thing, if you sleep 7 hours, sleep 9 hours. Most people are already doing this. And also make sure you fit in some walking and movement just to keep the blood flow in the body, and it keeps you limber and pain-free and injury-free. So the first 2 steps are pretty much what everybody needs to create a body transformation. So that's what we're going to be focusing most on this webinar. Maybe next time we can go into step 3. Now, if you get all 3 of these pillars at an adequate level and in a level where you're going to make progress, once you do that for a long amount of time, you're going to get a transformation. So, training. How we set up your training, we can break it down into 3 steps. So number 1, we got to determine how many days you're going to go to the gym. I always recommend 3 times is probably ideal for most, but if you are really motivated and you have a lot of time, then you want to go 5 days for even more enhanced results. Number 2, you're going to select 6 exercises for each day that match your goal. So Heather's training plan is actually going to be just down below. All you have to do is scroll past the video and you'll see her exact exercise breakdown and training tutorials filmed by me to show you exactly how I showed Heather how to do all these exercises. Now, last but not least, once you got your exercises and your training plan, you're gonna have to stick to it, and you're gonna wanna train in a way where you're lifting heavier and more reps over time on the same exercises for up to 12 weeks. So that means for up to 12 weeks, you're not gonna change any of these movements. You're gonna keep doing them and keep finding ways to get better, even if it's only by 1 rep or 2.5 pounds. We're talking about small increments, but after 12 weeks of that, you will see amazing gains because your body and your brain will learn these movements, learn these skills, and you're giving it time to actually improve, and you can see that improvements over time. So one other thing that I've given you is a tracking sheet so you can write down what you did on each exercise and really make sure that you're improving over time. Now, if you're a Lamb Lab client and maybe you want to jump the gun, you're like, oh, I want to get started right away. Well, we have an app where all your training plans are hosted on, and you can actually input your reps, sets, weight that you did, and the app will remember what you did and will remind you next time you do that exercise, so that way you can consistently improve. It's just part of our coaching experience to make everything very seamless. But if you're just doing this pen and paper style, just download that PDF below. Now for Heather, what we did was we selected 3 workouts a week because she's busy. She got a career and she has goals there too. So for the first 6 months, we worked out Monday, Wednesday, Friday with 4 rest days. She did a leg day, an upper body day, and a leg day number 2. So some of you might be wondering, well, Anthony, where's the cardio? Well, Heather, after a little sneak preview into her diet, once we got her on the diet, she literally didn't need to do any cardio because her metabolism was working so fast that she was literally burning fat off her body without any cardio. So we didn't feel the need to add extra pressure to her plate. That's not true for all people, but in her case it was. So hence only 3 workouts a week, and they were about an hour long. Now let's get into Heather's diet. So I'm going to show you how we tracked every single weigh-in and macro. So if you look at this spreadsheet here, you can see that if you scroll down, this is every single day that Heather logged her weigh-in. This weigh-in takes place right in the morning. You're going to use the washroom right before you eat breakfast. So it's like a fasted state weigh-in. And what we're looking at is not day-to-day changes in the weight. What we're looking at is the average weight change. The reason we want to do average weight change is because when you take an average, it washes out any daily weight fluctuation. So weight can fluctuate based on water intake, salt intake, indigestion, menstrual cycle, tons of factors that have nothing to do with you losing fat, which is the objective. So once you take the average weight and you see that decrease over time, that's a much better indicator of true weight or true fat loss. So we're looking for changes like that over time. So now that you understand that, you can see how Heather's protein was really, really low at first. It was almost about 60 to 70 grams. Now to get the best results in a body transformation, you want to eat 1 gram to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. So at Heather's weight at around 144 to start, that means we needed to get her protein at least up to 144. And that's a lot of protein for someone new. So the idea is you want to work up to that number as soon as possible because it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but after 3-4 weeks, you can clearly see that Heather really ramped up that protein, and that's how she was able to get really strong really fast and see more fat loss. The next thing is the calories need to match the goal. So even though you're eating the right amount of protein, if you're still eating too much food where you're not losing weight, then you need to bring your calories down. So for her, she started around averaging about 1,500 calories a day, and we took 1 cheat day every single month. So that means in 30 days, 31 days, whatever, only 1 cheat day. And that cheat day wasn't like, okay, let's forget the diet and let's just go off the rails and do whatever I want. It was a calculated cheat day, so we only ate 1,800 to 1,900 calories that day. And this is to elicit the most quick response. And also these cheat days help boost metabolism, help you feel less lethargic, help you feel more energized, And what happens in a long-term diet is your muscles actually get depleted of energy. So these cheat days help replenish that and give a boost to training. So anytime you're getting stronger, remember, you're building more muscle, you're maintaining more muscle. So having these cheat days were very critical. And of course, beyond the physical, it's a mental side of things too. Now, in the month 3 to 6 mark, we went to building muscle and metabolism. So in that 3 to 6 months, we only lost 2 pounds. But if you notice, the change from 144 to 128, 127 was drastic. We saw way more definition in her muscle. And actually, even though her weight didn't change much, she was eating almost went from 1,500 calories of food all the way to 1,800 calories a day. That means 300 calories more a day. That means every single day she could have had an extra junior chicken and still lost weight because her muscle increased, so her metabolism was faster. She maintains a lower weight while eating more. And doesn't that sound way more sustainable than constantly dieting and constantly starving yourself and constantly doing cardio? So that's why you almost have to reframe your mind when you're doing a body transformation. It's not always about weight loss and fat loss. Muscle is the key to all this. Once you have a significant amount of muscle first, it makes the process so much easier. And you can tell the diet is actually structured more so around maintaining muscle over than losing weight. And that's why progress photos are so important because yes, the scale is a good indicator of real change, but so are pictures, and the pictures don't lie. She's way stronger there, and the videos show it too. So in 6 months' time, she achieved her goal, and yes, she got leaner. Yes, she lost weight, and she got the toned arms and shoulders and ab definition. That's all great, but just looking at it from that lens is like a purely vain lens is I think missing the point of the whole fitness journey. What Heather gained in those last 6 months was not just a body transformation. She gained more confidence in her appearance, in herself, in her own mindset, in her ability to complete things, finish things, and do it with detail and care and focus. She was able to increase her energy, so that means how she carried herself at work. Was she tired? Was she not afraid to raise her hand and like present her idea? All these things come with that fitness journey. She increased her capability. She started new sports and new skills. Like I remember Heather was telling me she started off like rock climbing and bouldering, all because she had this new, stronger, leaner body that was light and easy to hold. She ended up getting a better job, which had better pay. All these things come by having a good, positive attitude that comes from training as well. Now, it's probably mostly Heather's also her own innate attitude, but having transformed her body, that's the type of confidence that carries through because it's a really growth mindset, a focus on how to improve yourself. It's a very inwardly looking in process, so that way you can be better on the outside. So Heather was also nice. She left me a little review on how her training experience was, and she truly did achieve an amazing transformation in a year. So I'm super proud of her progress. So you don't get to the results without any obstacles in the way, of course. It's never a smooth, linear journey. There's always going to be something that holds you back. So her first roadblock was being consistent in all her training and diet strategies and plan. So the solution was accountability. So that means accountability to yourself. In the very beginning, I have you sign a contract saying that you will achieve your goal and you'll pursue your goal and be relentless at that. So once you sign that contract, it's kind of a promise you made to yourself, and nobody likes to be a person who doesn't follow through on their word. I'm sure we know a lot of people like that in our life, and the last thing we need is another person who doesn't follow through on their word. So accountability to self is very key. There's accountability to your peers. So those are your, let's say, your friends. Maybe you told them about your goal. You want to be able to follow through on your word and show that you're a trustworthy person. You obviously want to follow through with your coach and follow through with your community. So this is our community. We all had committed to completing the longest Tough Mudder and getting through each obstacle together. So that was a ton of fun. The next roadblock was any plateaus. So plateaus, what that means is you've been working out for a while and you feel like you're not making any progress. So the solution to that was making sure we progressively overload all the exercises, meaning we're trying to get better. We're in the gym with intention, not just to spin the wheels, not just to go through the motions, but there to actually push our body's limits. Obviously, we want to have adequate rest. We need to have an individualized training plan, and exercise form has to be perfect. Now, another roadblock we faced was an injury. So when you injure something, it's kind of like an instant plateau, because in our journey, Heather actually injured her wrist and she had a previous injury in her toe. And that limited her on what exercises we could do. For example, lunges and the prowler sled, which is a piece of equipment where you push a heavy amount of weight across grass. And that was a staple in our program for her conditioning and her leg growth. And because we weren't able to do that, because her wrist, she wasn't able to hold onto the sled, what we ended up doing was tying bands around it, having her back against the bands, and she just pushed it like she was leaning against the object and driving with her legs. So this is when having exercise selection is key, because sometimes you get injured, you think, well, I can't work out, but it's just a wrist injury. So there's obviously other joints that we can work out. So finding ways around that is essentially a way of stopping us from a plateau. So things like that means better consistency. So see how they feed into each other, and see how we overcame these roadblocks, and then after a year's time, she was able to get her result. If she decided like, oh, I'm hurt, I'm gonna stop right then and there, all this stuff before and after would not happen. These are some of my other clients who achieved amazing transformations in a year, just like Heather did. And this is Natalie, who lost 65 pounds in a year, and she gained a lot of strength. She moved to Spain and pursued her dream, living in Spain and being a teacher there. This is Joel, who went from not working out to a complete fitness expert. Now he's in El Salvador, training and living the bodybuilding life. And this is Tyson and Antoinette. They're a couple who started training together, and they both got a little bit out of shape, but then started to get back into fitness and their love and joy for fitness. And Antoinette's actually a Zumba instructor. She felt herself letting go, so she decided to hire me with her husband and really transform their body. So they both look great, and they're both over 50 years old. So what I want to show you by highlighting these transformations is that no matter where you come from, no matter what your age is or what your excuse is, if you visualize it and you believe it can happen, in the body transformation world, it definitely can. It's just a matter of if you're willing to put in the time and the work to do so. So I hear excuses all the time. I'm a coach, of course, so I know. But what it is not just like saying, hey, just work out harder or just diet harder or train harder. It's about finding effective strategies that solve problems for people. And that's how all my clients are able to achieve such great results. So if you want to achieve your own body transformation, what I'm doing right now is giving away a free 15-minute strategy session so we can actually chat over the phone or FaceTime or video call and discuss where you are with your goals right now, and we can roadmap how you can get to point B. So if you're interested in that, you just have to follow the link below. It'll take you to a scheduler, and you can actually book a time with me, and we can discuss these goals and figure out exactly what the smartest action plan is. And number two, if you're really ready to jump into the program, well then you can join the 30-day results in advance program. What you're gonna get is you're gonna get a one-on-one 30-minute injury and performance assessment. You're gonna get 4 semi-private personal training sessions. You're gonna get an individualized training plan, and essentially everything you need to experience what it's like working out with me and how we're gonna get you that goal. So a lot of people, when they do this program, they can lose about 4 to 6 pounds easily, build some strength, and really get the ball rolling. And this normally costs $500, but since you sat through this entire presentation today, I want to give it to you at $197, and it's a totally risk-free thing. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and the reason I give a 30-day money-back guarantee is because I am really confident that you're going to enjoy this process. And in the case that you don't like us or you don't like the system or it's not right for you, you can always opt out. I'll send you your money back, e-transfer it, and we'll consider it done. Because at the end of the day, coaching is a two-way street. I want you to work with me. I want to work with you. So it's got to be that vibe for us to be successful anyways. Once you do this fitness stuff for at least a year and you do it properly for a year, you will have skills for the rest of your life on how to maintain your body composition, strength, fitness, and a lot of people use this program as a catapult to other activities that they love and having a good body that's capable of anything. So if you want a better life and be able to write better stories in your life, I highly recommend you either book that complimentary strategy session or you join the 30-day results in advance program. So now, if there was any questions that you didn't feel was answered in this webinar today, I want you to email us at info@lamblab.ca. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at lamblab_HQ, where you're going to find tons of free exercise tips, dieting tips. You're going to get any updates on what we're doing at the gym and in online coaching. Thank you again for sitting through this entire presentation. I really hoped you learned a lot, and I hope I was able to give you all the details and knowledge that you need to create your own successful transformation. So I will see you hopefully very soon, and thank you once again.